America, how we doing today? Oh, let me get you just a little higher. There we go. Oh, where have I been? Where have I been? I'm taking some time off. How's the audio? I got a good breeze coming through the shop here, and I'm not using these yet. If the audio has a lot of wind noise, let me know. I'll put these on. Otherwise, let's try to just use this here. Good for you. Good morning. Santa got arrested? What? Know nothing about that yet. I know they went down to D.C. on 4th of July. Supposed to have went down to D.C. Santa was arrested. Not bad. Some wind. Okay, well, if there's any wind at all, let's just, while we got it, might as well use it. Click this in there here. Where's my... Hold on, let me go get the windsock thing. So Santa got arrested, huh? Got arrested for blocking the highway. It's a hell of a thing to get arrested for, ain't it? There we go. There we got the microphone on there. Does that sound a little bit better? Good morning, good morning, good morning. North Star's here. I thought she was on vacation this week. It's one of the reasons I haven't been doing a lot of streaming. I haven't done hardly anything for a week. Been just taking time off at home. I've had several things to do around the house, and oh, want to show you something real quick. That wind is nice. It's breezy, but it's nice. Look right here. It's gone. Remember the cargo trailer I was trying to sell? There you go. It's gone. That's one of the things I did this weekend, or this past weekend. On Saturday, I drove it to Kansas City. And pulled it up to Kansas City, used the van. I had to do it because the people I sold it to didn't have a vehicle to tow it with right now. They're going to buy a 3/4 ton pickup eventually, but right now they got an older, in bad shape, half-ton pickup, and wasn't sure it would make the trip. And I thought, nah, I've got a 1-ton van. Let me just go ahead and pull it on up there. It pulled like a dream. I was really surprised how well that van pulled a trailer. The van, cruising around at about 65 mile an hour, that van gets around 17 mile per gallon, 16 to 18, somewhere in that range, you know, depends on the wind and the uphills and downhills. But from Texas up to Kansas City, it's pretty flat, a couple little rolling hills, not much, mostly flat. And I got around 16 mile a gallon, almost 17, 16.7, 16.8, something like that on average. If I slowed down to 55, I'd get up into the 18 and a half pretty easy. But if I got up into the 70s, it dropped down to about 14 or 15 pretty easy. That's without the trailer. That's on the way back. With the trailer, I've got right at 12, no matter what I did, how fast I went, whatever. I got about 12. So 12 mile a gallon with this, my transit van with that 3.6 liter EcoBoost Ford motor, and I got right at 12 pulling that trailer. And the trailer's empty, but it had build in it. You know, it had the cabinets and things like that, and there was nothing much else in it. Just walls, insulation, and flooring and ceiling, and the cabinets and that type of thing. Water tank, but the water tank was empty. So no batteries, no solar. Got all that. Solar's up on the roof of this thing right now. I'm on the shop. So we got that gone. Okay. So anyway, I got rid of the trailer. We drove up there on Saturday and drove back on Sunday. And then on Monday, we went over and looked at a school bus. And I'm looking really hard at well, probably going to pretty much decided I'm going to do it, but I got to find the vehicle first. But I'm looking for a schoolie or school bus to make a schoolie out of, a school bus RV setup. And I'll build that all out this fall and be ready to roll come January, I guess. So that's kind of a plan there. The van will be for sale, not yet, but later in the year. The van will be for sale, either as a RV the way it is, or I'll tear it apart and reuse all the stuff that's in the van, the solar, the batteries, the water tank, the water pump, the water heater, all the cabinetry, the drawers, and all that stuff I can reuse in that bus. So very little of that will go to waste. I'll either sell the van as it is, a completed thing, and just buy all new stuff for the bus, or I'll gut it out and turn the van back into a cargo van. That's probably what I'll do. I take the van down to a dealership, and they don't want it because it's got. I'll take the van down to a dealership, and they don't want it because it's a homemade RV, and they don't want the liability in case something breaks or whatever, something catches fire, you know, the wiring isn't up to code or something like that, and it opens the dealership up to liability. So if I sold the van, I'd have to sell it straight out to somebody because dealerships don't want it as a homemade RV. So, but if I take all that stuff out and reuse it, it's less stuff I have to buy, okay, and I can turn around and sell the van as a cargo van, and the prices are way up on those right now. So I bought that van for $54,000, if I remember right. I think I bought it for $54,000, and right now they're worth $65,000, $70,000, you know, and as a cargo van, you know, and that's just the single-tired 3/4 ton, you know, the T250s. This is a T350 with duals and all that. Yeah, so the pricing has went through the roof on stuff like that. And I think what I can do is trade that van in for a brand new Jeep Gladiator. I just love that Gladiator pickup from Jeep. I love that thing. So, and use that to tow behind the bus. That's the idea. I don't know, things change between now and then. Things will probably change, but that's the idea I got right now. So I use the bus to drive around. I found a bus I'm going to go look at Friday. It's got the 5.9 Cummins 12 valve. It's an old church bus, and I'm going to go look at that on Friday. Be over there right now looking at it, or yesterday, but the guy's busy working and everything, so I got to work on his schedule, you know. So, all right, real quick, let's talk about Santa. What went on there? I've seen a couple video or comments here. Santa, they went on 4th of July. We were on our way over to look at a different school bus, a different church bus, and I didn't watch any of it, but Pam was in the passenger seat, and she was scrolling through, watching a little bit of the stuff, trying to get an idea and reading comments and things like that. And she said, oh, they're down DC, and all the roads are blocked, and they can't get in, and all this. Like, really? Huh? I've heard of that. I've heard that story before. But apparently they didn't block the roads because of Santa and the 1776. They blocked the roads because it was 4th of July and they had a whole bunch of people down there. So it was just regular crowd control for the 4th of July fireworks, and the 1776 got caught up in it. That's the way I understand. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way I understand it. I know, more hearsay, I know. But anyway, that's why I understand what Pam was telling me, what she was reading on. Right now, I turned this video on, and I see that Santa got arrested on 4th of July. That's news to me. I didn't know anything about that. But apparently he got arrested for blocking the road, okay, holding up traffic or something like that. So, I don't know. Yeah. I got tons of comments up here. I'm just not going to put them out there. So. Yeah. I sat around for what, over a month and a half out there in that parking lot just to do one day and go get arrested for blocking traffic. Yeah. So I'm glad I wasn't there. I'm glad I was out working and doing my thing over here, and I wasn't involved with that. Enough said about that from me, okay? And I'm not saying anything bad about it or nothing like that. I'm just glad I wasn't involved with it. So they can do what they want to do. That's what's nice about this country. You can do what you want to do, sort of. Can't block the roads, apparently. Can't go down to D.C. and protest if you're a truck driver, apparently. You know, if you want to hold the politicians to account for what they've been doing, can't do that. But if a grown man wants to dress up in a dress and walk into a girl's bathroom, apparently you can do that. This country is getting so screwed up. Oh, well. Saw something on Facebook here a couple weeks ago. This country really went downhill when they got rid of the Marlboro Man and started smoking, or started vaping strawberry cheesecake. I thought that was funny. Quit smoking Marlboro Reds and started vaping strawberry cheesecake. The country went way downhill after that, didn't it? America, what is wrong with you? You've turned the men into pansy wussies. Yeah, Lord. The chickification, they call it. The chickification of men. Men aren't men anymore, I don't think. Didn't seem like it. At least not the young ones. So let me get you a little closer here so I can read. What do you want to talk about today? I got a phone call to make here in a few minutes. So let's get some comments out the way real quick. And the decline started when they moved the outhouse indoors. Is where the cops with them when they stopped traffic and they were okay with it. All of a sudden, he's arrested them. And what I don't understand is there were cops with them when they stopped traffic and they were okay with it. Why all of a sudden has arrested? Unbelievable. I don't know. I don't really understand. I don't know exactly what happened. Moment by moment. I wasn't watching it or something. So, yeah, men aren't men anymore. I mean, some of those older farts are, but these new kids, they're just, where was it? On the way to Kansas City on Saturday, we stopped and ate at an Arby's. And the kid, about an 18, 19-year-old kid, running the counter, and he had pink fingernails. You know, I don't paint my fingernails. I just, I'm a man. I don't wear makeup. He was not arrested. He did not get arrested. Somebody said he got arrested. So make up your mind, people. Did he get arrested or did he not get arrested? Too much estrogen in the water supply. Why too much promiscuity? There you go. Okay. Santa's in jail now. Okay, what is he? Is he arrested? Is he in jail? Is he not in jail? Hi from Rockford, Illinois. Did I get all my honeydews done? Sort of. I didn't really have a lot of honeydews. I just had stuff I needed to get done. And I've just been kicking around doing much of nothing. Sitting in the air conditioner at home, watching TV. I've been doing a lot of that. He did not get arrested. He was not arrested. Cops are nice until they are not. Sasnak from Michigan. Sounds like it was a setup. Sasnak, Gray Wolf has started his walk. That's the phone call I'm going to make. I'm going to call Gray Wolf in about 5 minutes and talk to him about his walk across America. If y'all don't know about that, Gray Wolf, Ron Coleman, he was one of the guys I interviewed at the Convoy. Sat in the truck and interviewed him. I interviewed him. I interviewed Mike Landis. I wanted to interview Brian Brosby. We never got around to it. Not that he didn't want to do it. It just, he was too busy. He just, you know, had too many things going on. Santa was arrested on a warrant from the protest on July 4th. If he's in jail, it had to have happened today. Okay. He has been extradited to Maryland for the arrest, or for the warrant. Arrested in D.C. Santa was arrested, not in jail. He's in D.C. right now. He's in jail. They towed his truck. There's a whole bunch of different, I don't know. Y'all are telling me a whole bunch of contradictory things here, so I don't know. But anyway, if you want to find out about Santa and all that, you can watch, I think WYSIWYG's up there, and what's his name, Oreo's up there. Joe's not, apparently. Joe's out in California doing his thing, his regular YouTube stuff. Said he was going to come back and do what, and I haven't talked to Joe since he was in Arkansas, so I haven't talked to hardly any of those people. I've been busy working and driving my truck and doing my thing, kind of listening here and there of what's going on, but not terribly interested in it. But anyway, let's stretch you out just a little bit taller here. So there we go. Anyway, my face is in here. I'm not up here off screen. So let's see what else. There's nothing happening. I'm not sure of the details. There's something happening. Not sure of the details. It's happening today. The Metropolitan PD is extraditing him to Maryland. Enjoy your time off. Black Beans, it out of commission. Oh, the Bean is out of commission. Uh-oh, what happened? Too much air resistance with the horns on the roof, right? Oh, mercy. But yeah, Joe said he was going to, when they went into D.C., whatever day that was going to be, he was going to get on a plane and fly to D.C. to report on it. But apparently he hasn't done that, I guess. I don't know. So, I don't know. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't fly all the way across country to see that. But anyway. But Oreo's there. I know Oreo's been there, you know, the whole time. And WYSIWYG's been there most of the time. I think he comes and goes. And like I said, I don't watch much of that stuff. I kind of hear about it secondhand through your comments or other people I talk to. Pam keeps up on it pretty good. I'm busy working and doing my thing. I don't really pay attention to it that much. Strawberry cheesecake. No, it's pipe tobacco amaretto flavor. So what's up with the 70,000 truckers taking off the road? This is real news. It's boring without you. Transmission, he took the horns off. Okay, the transmission went out on the Black Bean, huh? Okay. Grey Wolf is upping his game. He started his walk across the U.S. for freedom and liberty. Spread the word and check out the website at greywolfwalk.com. Okay, yeah, I'm getting ready to talk about all that. I'm getting ready to call him. And talk to him about that. Okay, so be patient, folks. We'll hear it from the horse's mouth. So, what else was going to cover? Okay, I got rid of the trailer. I'm going to go buy a bus. I'm going to not going to work on it in the summer heat. I'm going to wait till probably September and start, fitting it out and turn it into a camper. Depending on the bus that I buy, what kind of shape it's in and everything, it depends on what I'm actually going to do to it. The idea is rip the seats out, rip the floor out, get rid of any rust, paint it with this, it's an underlayment stuff. Put insulation down, put flooring down, then start building walls and everything. As far as the roofs of buses are already insulated with fiberglass insulation. About 2 inches is all, so it's only got like the what do you call it? The fiberglass insulation has a R value of about 2 or 3 per inch, and you got 2 inches, so you got about maybe 6. R value of about 6. if you take the inner skin off and spray foam it, spray foam has an R value of about 5 or 6 per inch, and it's closed cells, so it doesn't, moisture, condensation doesn't get on it, or permeate it anyway. And so you got 2 inches of 6, that's 12. 12 versus 5 or 6. It's a lot better insulated, a lot quieter, because it's and I'm going to take a lot of the windows out. The bus I'm looking at has that I'm going to go look at tomorrow or Friday has 11 windows. The sliding up and down windows, not counting the door or the driver's window, but all the passenger windows. It's got 11 windows on it. Another couple buses I looked at had 12 windows. One of them had 10 windows. But this one I'm feeling really good about, hopefully. It's got the 5.9 12 valve Cummins motor in it. Same one that's in a Dodge pickup, one of these, the old 12 valve. So I'm very hopeful about that bus. And it's only got about 100,000 miles on it, so it's all the good there. And it's already been painted. Well, it was never yellow. It was never a school bus. It was a church bus from day one. I think it came from the factory white, and they put some colors on it. And I'll probably repaint the colors. I'm not terribly in love with the colors that are on it, but. All right, so let's see. Cargo trailer is gone. Gonna buy a bus. Gonna take all the stuff out of the van, put it in the bus, trade the van in for a Jeep of some type, hopefully a Gladiator. I don't know if it'll be brand new, but if I'm gonna have to pay, $50,000 for a 2-year-old Gladiator with 30,000 miles on it, or $55,000 for a brand new one, I might as well buy a brand new one, right? So if they're available, if you can find one. So that's an idea there. Don't know. I might just buy an older JK, 4-door JK, and flat tow it behind the bus. Just the Jeep will be right on the ground on its own tires. So there's that idea. There's another idea. Pam really likes her little Edge. She got a Ford Edge she really likes. So maybe just buy a trailer and put that Edge on that trailer and then pull the trailer with the bus. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come there. Anyway, Pam's only got about 3.5 more weeks to go. She's retiring on the 28th of this month. So the 28th of July, she's retired. It's her last day out of, 20, I hate to say, probably about 25, 28 years at the same job. She's finally going to retire from it. So what else? I guess with that, let's call Ron, see what he's up to. And there we go. There's Ron. We'll just lay you right here. How's that? You should be able to hear him right there.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good.
How you doing?
I got a special guest in my right ear too. I just had Sasnak give me a call too. How about that? How you doing, Stan?
Pretty good.
And how you doing, Diego? Okay, so oops, hold on. I might have done a boo-boo.
You did a boo-boo. There you are.
Boo-boo.
All right, folks, on my stream, thumbs up if you can hear him okay. If you can hear me and him both equally about good. Should be able to hear us both.
I can get, Diego is live streaming this on Diego TV as well, so we're just starting up there, so sometimes we get a little bit of technical difficulties starting up in the morning. Diego, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
All right, good. All right, so I'm going to cut over. I've got Stan Sasnak is on the line with me, and I'm just getting ready to step out of the Beechwood and start the walk, so... Yeah. Whoop, I got to power the pack up here. Thank you. So, Stan, how you doing?
Pretty good. Sitting out here in the shop, sitting on the porch, and we got a south wind, so the wind's blowing pretty good. Got a nice little breeze, and it's still early enough in the day. It's not 1,000,000 degrees yet, but here in about 2 hours, it'll be 100 degrees all day, I guess. So, But right now it's pretty nice.
We're going to have about, I think, 91 degrees here. I know that the stream can't hear Stan, but that's okay. He's also streaming this interview. So,
so we say you're going to step out of the beechwood. Where, for my people, where are you at? And what are you doing?
Okay.
First of all, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm walking across America. I keep hitting the wrong button here on this darn camera. I'm walking across America. Started in Carson City, Nevada, and I'm walking all the way to Washington, D.C. So let me step out here real quick, and then that way I don't have to touch buttons anymore here. Because I keep touching the wrong buttons.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing is we're continuing to bring awareness to people as to what the government is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And not just our government, I mean, it's governments around the world. But my focus on this is bringing people to bear. Basically, get up off the couch, bring people out, and get them involved with how to reclaim our Constitution, our freedoms, and basically let's push back on what the government is doing to subvert our constitutional rights, our freedoms, and so on.
Yeah.
So I left on the 2nd of July. I left Carson City, Nevada, which is the state capital of Nevada.
Yep.
On a trek towards D.C., and today I'm starting out day 5.
Okay.
And I'm currently just outside. I'm 12 miles away. This is going to be a short day, actually. I'm 12 miles away from Fallon, Nevada right now.
Got it. Okay.
Going on US 50.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh.
the nation's loneliest highway.
Yep. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, US 50, Highway 50 leads out of Reno, Nevada, heading back toward Utah to the east. And there's a sign there, and it's known as the loneliest highway in America. It's from point A to point B. It's the longest between gas stations. It's a long way. There's almost nothing across there. It's very, very desolate. And you're going to walk all the way across that, huh?
Yes. So that was in fact, I have a morning security brief that I have with my group on what's the safety issues.
Yeah.
And I did develop a blister on the first day, so I've been nursing a blister, which has been taking away from how many miles I'm able to actually walk.
Yeah.
My target goal average over the total time getting into DC is to average between 22 and 25 miles per day.
Right.
And we've only been averaging 13 miles a day to this point.
Okay.
So trying to nurse this blister. So tomorrow I'm going to make it a rest day. It'll be day 6. And I'll be in Fallon, Nevada at the Golden Gate truck stop.
Okay.
And it's going to give this blister a rest. And muscle-wise, I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any problems, really. I had some hip pain and some knee pain and such because I do have arthritis in my knee. But I've been working a lot of that out, so I'm doing okay there. But and I'm live streaming the whole thing. And simulcasting actually with Diego TV out of Mexico. So so we've got everything is up there on the graywolfwalk.com site. But yeah, so that's the goal is to get people out of you saw it as well as I did, Stan, on the convoy when we were with the People's Convoy. The people are the answer to the problems, and I'm going to start walking here. Yeah. All right, time mark. We are walking.
Yep.
And so that was the thing. The people were coming out in just the thousands.
Yep. On the bridges and stuff. Yeah.
On the bridges and everything else. Why were they there? They're there because they see what's going on with this country, and they're looking for ways to be able to take this country back. It's a movement.
Right.
And but you and I believe we're on the same page that, when it comes to a convoy, convoys roll. They have to roll.
Yeah.
And so they get attention. There's no doubt about that. They get the attention. But ultimately, what decides what's going to happen is the people.
Right.
And
Yeah, you can have all the people you want on a convoy, but the people back home don't do anything, then it's kind of a moot point. Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. You got that. But when the people stay at home and they don't do anything, and all they're doing is screaming at the TV set because they don't like what they're seeing, but they're not doing anything, then they're just going to continue to get squashed. And so my walk is to bring people out, talk to me, and let's have everybody learn what it is that they can do, what is their part. And ultimately, by the time I get to DC, I'd like to see enough people with me to where we block all the roads with people.
Yeah.
And our many voices would be heard as one.
Right.
And along the way, we use our 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment is where the states have that power. Each state has sovereignty.
Right.
People are sovereign.
The 10th Amendment, does that kind of, or is that part of the states' rights and
Yes.
all that? Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah. So the 10th Amendment is now, you put the pressure on the state legislators. And when you put that power on, or that pressure, I should say, on, with those powers to be, I'm going to check here. Looks like I'm good, Tom. Talking to my support vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and take fog line, Tom. So here we go. I don't know if you're watching my stream there, Stan, but
No, both my phones are busy doing my thing here.
There you go.
My iPhone 12 is doing this. I'm sorry, my iPhone 12 is doing my stream, and I'm talking on my 13 to you, so I can't watch anything else.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm using an iPhone 11 to stream, and I'm streaming up to Diego TV, and then Diego TV is restreaming out to my streams.
Okay.
So that's why everybody, if you go over to the Gray Wolf on YouTube, you actually see Diego's pepper right there under Gray Wolf. It's because we are simulcast. So, but yeah, we've got, I just took the active Highway 50. I'm on the fog line on the right. And the support vehicle is behind me with a big old sign saying, "Walkers for freedom ahead, caution."
There you go. All right.
So come on out, and let's turn this into a big old Forrest Gump thing.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna bring that up. The Forrest Gump running across America back and forth. I just seemed like the thing to do.
It seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah, I just felt like running, so I runned it, and I runned it some more. And I got to the ocean. I turned around and I runned it back the other way.
That's right.
All right.
Turning it.
So you're planning on around 20 to 25 miles per day, and at that rate, you should be in DC by when?
Around the end of November.
End of November. It's going to be chilly by then, right? It's going to be pretty.
That's right.
Okay. At the rate you're going now, is that figuring in a rest day about once a week or something, or is that?
It is. It's actually about once a week. I'll have a rest day / rally day.
Got it.
I've got a lot of good supporters. Dr. Lock 'em all up is one of my supporters, and Dr. Pierre Corey.
Yeah.
U.S. Freedom Flyers.
Yeah.
Are all built up in the supporting group. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And the supporters are growing by the day, so we're doing pretty good there. And we've got our first rally we're going to look at is Austin, Nevada.
Austin, Nevada?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know where that's at.
Yeah, that's Austin, Nevada, and I don't have a direct time because, again, we've got about 4, maybe 5 days of pure desert.
Yeah.
I mean, real desert.
Right. Yep. With nothing there.
Sand blowing and everything. So.
Yeah.
We're going to be gearing up for that. I do not want this blister to be bothering me going there.
Right.
We'll probably be doing pre-dawn launches on that one too.
Yeah. The Highway 50. Okay, when you left Reno, where did you start? Where was your actual starting point? I want to touch on that.
The starting point was literally at the the Nevada State Capitol building.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that changed because last time I talked to you a week or so ago, you were talking about starting at a mall.
Mall, yeah. It was the original plan was to go Meadowwood Mall to National Mall.
Mall to mall, yeah.
Mall to mall.
Yeah.
That was the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we started looking at it, and my brother Mike, actually out of the Seattle area, said two things. One, you've got Geiger grade is a 19-mile grade out of Reno
Yeah.
to Virginia City.
Right.
Day one, don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's pretty
Okay.
pretty tough when you're out of shape. You know, you'll be in shape in a couple of weeks. You'll be in really good shape, won't you? But
Oh, yeah.
day one, that's a
Darn good
trick.
shape in a couple of weeks, you bet.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. Second thing is symbolism.
Yeah.
We're looking to try and bring the states and the 10th Amendment into the picture here.
Right.
Do it from the Capitol.
Got it. Yep. Yeah. The mall is a private
We
entity.
only lost 6 miles by doing that move, but
Yep.
it took away the Geiger grade,
Uh-huh.
and it brought in the symbolism, and we also pushed it out to the beginning of the weekend for the July 4th holiday.
Got it. Okay. Because I remember you were going to leave on the 1st, weren't you?
It's going to leave on the 27th.
Okay, you were going to leave on a Monday. I remember that. Yeah, it was going to be a Monday.
Yeah.
And when you didn't, I'm like, well, something's going on here, and I didn't know. And then I started watching a couple of your videos and kind of find out, Abby, you kind of messed up with Abby. Abby's his little dog. And tell a story about Abby.
Well, you know, for years I bred Chinese pugs, and all my life I have fed my dogs grapes. I didn't know grapes were poisonous to dogs.
I didn't either.
And so I'm sitting there on a stream one night, gave a grape to Abby, and they're like, "Oh, it's poisonous" on the chat. I'm like, "Oh, come on. No, it's not."
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there while I'm still in the chat, go checking my phone, checked a couple of veterinarian sites, and went, "Oh, damn."
Yeah.
Picked up my phone, called my vet, said, yeah, one grape will kill a St. Bernard. I went, okay, I'm on my way.
Yeah, I did not know that. I didn't know that either. I heard stuff like chocolate. Chocolate will kill a dog, but then I've also found out like your Hershey's milk chocolate, Hershey's bar. There's not that much chocolate in it. It's the cocoa, I guess, or the chocolate itself.
Cocoa butter, yeah.
Right.
It's the cocoa.
Right.
And not the cocoa butter.
And what it does, it doesn't kill them. It just gives them the runs, and they can dehydrate and all that. And they can't digest it.
Dehydrate them over time, and that's what's deadly about it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I sure didn't know anything about a grape.
Me neither. So I panicked. It was Sunday.
Yeah.
And took her to the emergency hospital. That grape cost me $550.
Oh well.
Yeah, the most expensive grape in the world, right
Yeah.
there, up here to tell you. But she did get rid of the whole grape. She hadn't actually crushed it.
Yeah. Kind of
So
swallowed it up.
whole,
Yeah.
And I took a breath. So yeah, that I've had some other issues, but
Yeah, and then
working through it.
Okay, so that was the issue with Abby, and then you had another issue with your friend. What's the
Yes.
story on him?
Well, my friend Bubba, I called him Bubba. His name is Robert Clark.
Okay.
And Robert's he drove for me for a while for Gray Wolf. He's my next door neighbor, and he called me Pops. And he's been going through a bout of depression. A heavyweight guy, 350 pounds, and felt like he wasn't going anywhere with his life. And one day, I sent him an interview that I had with Wendy Bell Radio. Texted it to him, and I believe that was Saturday afternoon. And he answered me with, "Yeah, this is really great, Pops, but what does a man like me do?" And I just texted back. I said, "I need a driver for the Beechwood."
The RV, the Beechwood's an RV, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Beechwood RV, 1967 Beechwood. And he said, "I'll be up."
Okay.
So he come up, And we were going through a list of things that had to be done to the beechwood.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was to change the water pump.
Yep.
And so on.
Yep.
So he and I, for 3 days, we were working Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yep.
Getting the beechwood ready.
Right.
So Tuesday evening, we got the water pump off of there and got it all cleaned up. And he says, okay, Pops, I'm going to go call it an early night. I'm going to set my alarm. I'll be up first thing in the morning. And so I says, okay. So I wanted to keep up on the time. So Wednesday morning, I got up about 4 o'clock. Well, actually 2:35 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 mornings in a row, 2:35 a.m., spot on. And I'm talking to my supporters, and got showered. And,
What's the problem? You just waking up because you're excited and can't sleep, kind of thing,
yeah.
or okay, yeah,
Yeah, that kind of thing. Just couldn't go back to sleep.
yeah,
And first thing I do when I roll over is ask Siri what time it is. And so anyway, I got out about 7:15 a.m. Said, well, let me go check the mail, UPS store. Got to go to Home Depot, get some stuff for the RV. So I left the house about 7:15 and went and did what I was having to do.
yeah.
I got back to the house. I saw Bubba's pickup truck in the driveway. Thought, well, he's in there working on that water pump. So got out. My daughter come out the car, was helping, got the packages out of the car. And we went in the house, and I had a couple breakfast burritos real quick. So, all right, well, I got to get out there and help Bubba. And opened up the door and found him laying on his back across the engine. And at that moment, I made a joke, actually, and it kind of landed wrong on me afterwards. But yeah. I said, well, I've never seen anybody putting a water pump on from their backside.
Yeah.
And I put a couple of sodas in the refrigerator and turned around and said, wait a minute, I didn't get a response.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned around, I didn't see him breathing, and then that's when all hell broke loose. And so I drug him back off the engine, started CPR, 911. I was doing chest compressions on him.
Yeah.
Till I felt somebody tap me on the back.
Yeah.
And the paramedic was there and relieved me.
Right.
And about 15, 20 minutes, they got him out of the beechwood and on the ground. Worked with him for, maybe 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then they just called it.
Okay.
So
huge heart attack then, or what? Heart attack, I suppose?
Yeah, we're thinking either a massive coronary or stroke.
Man, okay.
Something.
Right. Wow.
We don't know yet. So.
Okay.
But the coroner did say, because he was sitting there, he hadn't touched anything. It was still like the night before. Mm-hmm. He sat down, and the coroner, I was talking with her, and she said that looking at everything, it looked like he actually was sitting up, kind of sat down maybe to take a breath, and had passed sitting up.
Yeah.
So before he even fell over on the engine, he was already gone.
Wow.
So. Yeah. So that still sticks with me.
Yeah.
I dedicated my first day of my walk to Bubba.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Kind of rough.
How old was he?
41. I believe 41, I think.
41. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's way too young. I thought he was an older fella. I thought he was 60 or 70 years old.
No, he's 41 years old.
Wow.
And I put a little tribute on the Gray Wolf Walk website for Tracy and Bryant and Bubba.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a picture of Bubba there on graywolfwalk.com.
Yeah.
Along with Tracy and Bryant.
Yeah, Tracy's the ambulance lady, right?
Tracy was the ambulance lady.
I haven't talked much about
the man who came out of hospital.
Right. I haven't.
Freedom Horn.
I haven't talked much about Tracy or Bryant because I haven't really been streaming much this past week. But yeah, for those of you that don't know, during the convoy there was a lady who had a ambulance. It was the ambulance that kept breaking down all the time, and Eric, the mechanic, was constantly working on that RV, the ambulance. And so anyway, after the convoy and everything, when she passed away, where was that at? Was she at the 1776, or she went back home, or what was the story on her?
1776.
Okay, and she had a heart attack, or what happened with her?
No, she had a stroke.
She had a stroke.
She had a blood disease and had a stroke.
Oh, that's right. She had sepsis. That's what it was. Sepsis. Yeah. So, okay, so she passed away, and she wasn't that old, was she? I mean, she was, what, 60?
I don't know how old she was, to be honest with you, but I'm thinking she was in her 50s.
Yeah. Okay, 50 to 60, somewhere along in there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bryant. Bryant was the old man. What was his last name? Bryant
Bostrom.
Bostrom, okay, and he was from Oklahoma, right?
From Oklahoma.
Okay, so folks, if you don't know, during the convoy, when we got a bug on my screen here. During the convoy, there was an old man. Looked like just old gray-haired, gray-bearded old man. Looked like he was 100 years old, and he'd get up and he'd kind of whisper real quietly, and he'd tell his story about how he was really sick and he was in hospice, right?
Yes, he was in hospice.
And they said, well, you only
die.
You basically they they already had a toe tag on him saying you're going to die, and he says, well, if I'm going to die anyway, let me go have a little fun before I die. And he wanted to go do the convoy, so his kids went out and got his truck. He had a Freightliner toter home, which was it's a toter home is what they haul like a race car trailer with. It's a small Class 7 semi with a big sleeper on it. And if you remember the convoy, I followed him a lot on the second part of the convoy when we left Montana. When I rejoined in Montana, coming back to DC the second time, seemed like I was behind Bryant a lot. He just, every time I got in line, he was right in front of me up there. But anyway, he was in bad shape. He was old and in bad shape. And like I said, they don't already wrote him off. And he got to have.
He got better.
He actually got better while he was out on the road with us. And then where was he at? He was in West Virginia with the convoy with 1776, and then got feeling bad. They took him to a hospital, and then he died in the hospital.
To the hospital, from what I hear.
Yeah.
He was getting ready to leave for the next morning. He was going to leave the next morning.
Okay.
Home.
And head to Oklahoma. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And started feeling bad.
Yep.
Went to the hospital, and he was having a heart problem. So his son went out there to pick up the truck.
Yep.
And then he passed at the hospital.
Yeah. And he was he was probably close to 80, wasn't he?
I think he was 81.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds about right.
82.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
He was a good guy. I talked to him a little. I was wanting to interview him, and it was one of those things, just never, kind of like with Brian, I just never got around to it. Other people interviewed him. I think, what was, who was it interviewed him? They can go back and watch. Did Oreo interview him?
I'm not sure.
There was a couple people interviewed him.
I know Claire Dooley did.
Claire Dooley, okay. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he was a nice fella. I enjoyed talking with him. Wish I would have got an interview now. But anyway, it's just hindsight. You look back and go, doggone, why didn't I do that? So it just seemed like every time I turned around, I was busy doing something. I just never quite got around to it. So.
Yep.
So, all right. So, what was it? The ambulance? What was her name again?
Tracy.
Tracy. Okay.
Tracee. Tracy.
Okay. And where was she from? Do you know?
She was actually 3 years in that ambulance was her home. She sold her home in Missouri.
Missouri. Okay. I was going to say Colorado. Okay, Missouri. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but that's where she was from, in the Missouri area, right?
Right.
Okay.
She was from Missouri.
And she was living that nomadic lifestyle in an RV ambulance, but it was an RV.
She sold her home in order to do that.
Right.
And people would call her homeless. She'd get angry at it.
Yep.
So I'm not homeless.
Yep.
I did this because this is what I wanted to do.
Well, just like me, I've never owned a house. I own this property here, but I've never owned a house. 58 years old, and I've never owned a house, but I've never been homeless. I've always had a place a roof over my head of some way. Right. It might have been that thing right there, might be that truck, Might, be a girlfriend's house or an apartment that I rented or something, but I always had a place to live of some type. I've never been homeless. To me, homeless is where you have no place else to go and you go live under a bridge.
That's correct.
And technically, the bridge becomes your home. Wherever you are, you're home, if you think about it. But
you're home where your mind is set.
right, exactly. So
that's right.
But anyway, yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand. That whole crowd that I hang out with out in Arizona, in the wintertime, I go out to Quartzsite and hang out with. It's people like Tracy. I never do her, but a lot of people just like her. They realize, man, I don't have a lot saved up. And I'm going to be living off Social Security, and a house is extremely expensive. You never own your house, never. You never own your house. You get it all paid off and everything, but you still got to pay property taxes. And if you don't pay it, they take your house away from you, even though you own the house. So in a way, you never ever own anything.
Right.
You have to pay something on it somehow.
Another problem with the country.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, a lot of people, especially like widows, I know several ladies that are widows, and when their husband died, they don't get as much Social Security. They can't afford the house anymore because when her and her husband were alive, they both got Social Security. But when he dies, the income comes way down, and they can't afford the house anymore.
Right.
So there's a lot of those type of people, men too, but there's a lot of those kind of people that just, man, I can't afford this house. I get $1,000 in Social Security and $1,200 worth of bills every month. I just can't afford it. So they sell all that stuff. The money they make on the house, they buy an RV or something, or a van or something to live in, and they go travel and become nomadic. And almost everybody I've ever talked to that did that are just ecstatic. Like, why didn't I do this before?
Exactly.
And they have friends. I know this one lady, friends of mine, and she said, I lived at home in his house and I had no friends. My kids would come over once in a while, grandkids would come over once in a while, but I sat at home by myself, lonely. And now that I'm in an RV and I'm traveling around the country, I have more friends, I go do things, I have a social life, and they really enjoy it. So just because you have a house with a white picket fence around it, the American dream, for some people, the American dream is an American nightmare, And so, yeah, just because you don't live in a stick and brick home doesn't mean you're homeless. So,
that's right.
So anyway, enough of that, I guess. So, all right, so you're planning on being over in D.C. by around November sometime. Now,
end of November, I believe.
And that's running 25 miles a day, and you're only getting about 13 miles a day average. So when are you going to get to D.C.? February, March?
Well, no, and I've said this a few times on my stream too.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the beginning. I'm looking at the end.
Right.
So 13 miles a day right now is toning miles.
Yep.
And
you'll get in better shape. You'll be able to do, your feet will toughen up, your muscles will toughen up, and you'll be able to do 30 miles a day some days and catch up.
Yeah.
How's
I'll start before the sun's coming up and go until the sun's starting to go down, kind of thing.
There you go. Might as well walk if you ain't doing nothing else.
That's right.
What about...
You got time to lean, you got time to walk. I know it doesn't rhyme, but it's the same theory.
There you go. What about your knee? You said you had arthritic knee. How's that holding up?
It's actually doing pretty good.
Okay.
The first mile or two, I got some soreness in that knee, but I work it out.
Yep.
And it seems to be doing just fine. My hips as well.
Right.
I figured that muscle tone is going to start compensating for a lot of that too.
Right.
So that blister is starting to heal. I can feel it.
Yep.
And I figure that tomorrow I'll take the day off.
Yep.
Day 6. Give it some more time to heal.
Right.
Run barefoot for the day.
Yep. Dry it out, air it out. Yep.
Yep. Dry it all out. And get ready for the desert.
Right.
The desert's not going to be easy. We know that.
No, you're gonna that asphalt's gonna be black and it's gonna be hot and your feet are gonna catch fire.
Yeah.
So be ready for that.
We're thinking 2:30 to 3 a.m. start point. Try and be off the pavement before the top heat of the day type of deal.
Right.
So however many miles I get done before the heat really starts to get.
Yep.
We installed a swamp cooler into the beechwood. So the swamp cooler is perfect for the desert dry heat. And but we also have the gen set and an AC unit in the Beechwood. So yeah, I changed out the AC unit before we left, so it's got a new AC unit plus a swamp cooler.
All right, so so we got the logistics part of all your conversation here. What about your support? You need some support. Do you have a website people can donate to you? Things like that. Anything here you want to touch on?
Oh yeah, no, the support is definitely needed.
Right.
Just up on graywolfwalk.com.
Just for gas in the RV, right?
Gas in the RV.
And food.
And no bones about it. Food.
Yep.
Home bills. I'm making no bones about it. I'm out here. I want to do this, but at the same time, I got to cover those bills at home.
Right.
And then, so the donations page is set up on graywolfwalk.com.
Okay.
And anything left over at the end of this, my heart and my mind says, goes to the legal fights for the veterans that have been inappropriately discharged because they wouldn't take the jab.
Got it. Okay.
There's a big problem with that, and there's a big amount of legal fees that are cropping up for those veterans.
Right.
That were forced out.
Right.
Serving this country.
Yep.
So, but that's where the donations are. We got daily blog updates going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all the information we need. We've been trying to culminate there on the graywolfwalk.com.
Yeah, I'm reading some of my comments here and everything. See if anything steps out. But there was, when I first started this video this morning, started the stream, quite a few comments were talking about Santa. Have you been keeping up with any of that information?
I have been.
Okay.
And I did see that just before I got ready for the walk this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And
so apparently he got arrested. I don't know when or why or how, but apparently he got arrested for obstructing traffic. But they didn't arrest.
There were 3 misdemeanor charges.
Yeah.
That I read about this morning.
Okay.
And all for traffic-related stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what, Sasnak, Stan, I called you when you were down there with us in Hagerstown. I called you. You were on one of those. I think it was the 495.
Yep.
And I called you with a warning that had come in about blocking the highway.
Right. That was the day they decided they were going to block the bridge, the bridge going across the Potomac there.
Yeah.
And
Woodrow Wilson Bridge.
Mike, you called me and Mike called me both. And where are you at? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm sitting on the side of the road up here waiting for the convoy. What do you mean you're sitting on the side of the road? I'm out here on 295 down here by the scale waiting on them. They disappeared. I don't know where they're at. And he goes, well, what do you mean you don't know where? Well, we were coming up 395 up through town there, and somebody made a comment about, we ought to just park on the bridge for 13 minutes for the 13 people that died.
13 fallen soldiers.
Right. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, nobody said they were going to do it. Somebody just made the comment, And as we come on through town, I just kept working toward the front of the convoy. Next thing you know, I'm kind of front, and I thought they were waiting on the trucks. There was the rat rod crowd and all that bunch. They were sitting up there on the side of the shoulder of the road. So I've come driving by, thinking, well, they're waiting on the trucks. They got out ahead of us because of traffic and everything, so they're just waiting on us. And right behind me was a whole string of 13 or 14, 15 trucks, something like that. I said, well, come on, guys. And somebody on the radio says, Sasnak will lead us out of here. So I'm like, okay, come on. And I just putted out about 10 mile an hour, and I just started rolling. And I kept looking in my mirror, and nobody was behind me. I'm like, well, come on, guys. There's nobody stopping you. Come on, let's go. And next thing you know, I'll get around the corner. I can't see them anymore. I'm like, surely they'll come catching up, surely. Because I was driving slow. I was only doing about 10 mile an hour. And I get around the corner and I can't find him. And well, shoot, So I sped up to about 15, then 20. I got about 5 miles south of there. There's that scale out on 295. I pulled off around there. It wasn't at the scale. It was right in that general area. I pulled off on the side of the road there where there was a DC cop in a Ford Transit van of the DC police was blocking the exit. And I pulled up the exit, got out and walked over and asked her, I says, hey, can I park here waiting long enough for the guys to catch up? Well, what guys? And I said, well, the convoy guys, apparently they got caught back in traffic back there. I need to wait on them, you know. And she goes, oh, sure. So I sat there and waited on them. I waited for 20, 30 minutes, and during that 20, 30 minutes, you called, and then right after that, Mike called, and he said, don't be blocking the roads. I'm like, I'm not. I'm sitting on the side of the road down here with a cop waiting on him. And finally he says, well, I'll just come back to DC, or come back to Maryland, or Hagerstown. Okay. So I drove back to Hagerstown by myself, got back to town, and that was a big, you know, a lot of discussion about that. Yeah, a whole bunch of discussion about that.
Yeah, and see, that's my take on it. And, you know, all the people that are in the supporting of that are family to me. Mm-hmm. And we all want the same thing. We really all want the same thing. We want the government out of our lives.
Yep.
And we want the government to stop with these tyrannical acts.
Right.
And for me, the focus is that state of emergency.
Yep.
They are abusing the state of emergency. When I say they, I'm talking about the government.
Yep.
And they are taking away and subverting our constitutional rights.
Right.
And what that is, Stan, is simple.
Yep.
That state of emergency is the foundation of a multi-story building.
Yep.
And that multi-story building can be your mask mandates, your vaccine mandates, your WHO problems, your Title 42 problems, and, you know, the money's going back out to the big companies, all based, or each one of those things that I just mentioned be a floor or a level of that big building. Mm-hmm. You take out that state of emergency, and you let the building crumble.
Right. They don't have. That's what they're using. They're using the state of emergency to subvert all the constitutional limits that are. If you look at the Constitution, not the Declaration of Independence. That's not what I'm talking about. The Constitution. The Constitution doesn't give you and me rights. It takes things away from it tells the government what they can't do. It doesn't tell us what we can do. It says what they can't do to us. And by using that state of emergency, throws the Constitution out in the trash. As long as they can say, hey, there's an emergency, we can take your guns. Hey, there's an emergency, we can lock you up. If there's an emergency, we can tell you to, you have to take the vaccine or whatever drug they want. They use that to hide behind, and that's the bad thing about that, about the Emergency Powers Act. Okay,
yes.
That's the bad thing about it, is they use it so they don't have to abide by the rules. The rules being the Constitution. The Constitution says you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, can't do that. To them.
For the government.
Yeah. It doesn't say anything to us. You know, the Declaration of Independence says what we can do. You know, the God-given rights, and anyway, it goes on and on.
Liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
And when that is being obstructed,
another key thing.
Our duty, really.
Yeah.
To replace the government.
Yeah. There's the key thing there is everybody, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No, it doesn't say happiness. It says the pursuit.
Pursuit.
It means nobody can get in your way. That doesn't guarantee you're going to be happy. It just says they can't get in your way and make you not be happy. You know,
correct.
It's the pursuit of happiness is there available for you if you're willing to go get it. You know,
that's right.
And so many people, pursuit of happiness. I'm happy sitting on my ass collecting a welfare check. That doesn't guarantee that. It guarantees that you have the right to pursue happiness, but doesn't mean you're going to be happy. You know,
right?
So
that's right. You're right. Spot on. And the thing of it is that, you have the 1976 Emergencies Act. We need that, but we need it to be controllable.
Yeah.
What is the problem is the declaration for the state of emergency.
Yeah.
And its abuse of that act.
Yep.
So that's why Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, and several other, Ron Johnson, several senators put together a bill in the Senate to end the state of emergency, and within that bill is verbiage to eliminate the usage of that act to be used ever again in this manner.
Yep.
That was passed in the Senate.
Yep.
I went to the Hill. I was part of the delegation and went up to the Hill and spoke with not Mike Lee, but with Ted Cruz and Ron Johnson.
Yeah.
And that bill passed in the Senate by just one vote, 48-47, but it's now stuck in the House.
Right.
Pelosi won't let it go up for a vote.
Right.
So what we need to do during my walk before November, we need to get as many people calling and putting the pressure on the House of Representative members to get that, to start a petition to bypass Pelosi and take it to the floor for a vote.
Yep.
That's what we need to do. And
Yep.
we need to get that bill, SJ Res 38, we need to get that up there, voted on, and even if the resident decides to veto it, our next call to action is to get on the Senate for an override vote.
Yep.
We need to stop this abuse.
Yep.
Kill that state of emergency and make sure it can never be used in this manner again, putting billions and billions of dollars into these interests and these pharmas and everyone else.
Right. What? Where does the 10th Amendment come into this? You know, the states' rights and the states. It's escaping me. The
sovereignties.
Well, yeah. The what do they call it? Where the Constitution of States or Convention
The state-
Convention
state
Conven-
constitu-
Convention of States.
Okay,
Convention
now
of
that's
States.
that's Article 5 of the Constitution.
Okay.
It allows we the people to make amendments to the Constitution as well. A lot of people, when you look at Article 5 of the Constitution, they see that first paragraph until you actually, not even the paragraph, until you get to that first word, or. Okay? And that basically says that both sides of the House, of the Congress, they can make amendments to the Constitution. Right now we have 27 amendments to the Constitution. So whenever an amendment is to be created, both sides of the House get to it. But that little word or, all right, or a convention of the several states. And so when you get the convention of the several states that equal the same measures as what is needed with your 2/3 and your 3/4 of the houses, you can do the same thing, but we the people get to do it.
Right. You don't need any of those people up in D.C. to do anything. They can sit on their hands and do nothing.
Right.
We can do it ourselves.
That's correct.
And people
you do it
just
with the
don't
state
know that.
legislatures.
And people
Okay.
just don't know that, do they? They're just not
They don't.
educated. Yeah.
So Article 5, Convention of States, absolute power, where now 34 states can draft the amendment, i.e. a 28th Amendment, to put in term limits
Yes.
for those inside that Capitol building.
Yep. If term limits are okay for a president, why isn't it okay for a senator or a congressman?
Right. Why can't it be for the same
Yep.
for a lawmaker, right?
Yep. 2 terms. I figure 2 terms for a president, 2 terms for everybody else. That's good enough.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's the key. And we can do that through our state legislatures. 34 to draft, and then 38 to ratify.
Okay. Now, out of 34 to draft, how many states are actually on board with
We
this?
currently have 19 on board.
Okay. And I would assume
So
they're
we
all
need everybody
Midwest.
over to conventionofstates.com to sign the petition that starts the process for your state
Right.
to be able to petition the legislatures of your state to draft a joining of the Convention of States.
Okay.
So yeah, that's power right there. That puts the power back into the people's hands.
Right. And why do you suppose they're not getting any traction on that? I mean, only 19 states out of 50. Oh, you know.
Articulation.
What?
Articulation. It comes down to not properly articulating the meaning of Article 5 for those who
okay.
are trying to grassroots the growth.
Got it. Okay. They don't articulate the idea very well. Okay, got it.
Correct. They're not being heard
Explaining
by
it.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm proud to be a voice of that. I am proud to be a member of the Convention of States.
Right.
But we need to articulate more as to what it means in Article 5.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, how far have you got today already? About a mile so far?
I've gotten about 2 miles. Just a moment here. I got to reset the audio. You get these spam calls.
Yep.
And it kills my audio.
Yeah.
So then I have to restart the audio up.
Right. What you got, like a Fitbit or something like that, or how you measuring your mileage? Just off the map?
I'm measuring it off my phone walk meter.
Got it. Okay.
And then I've got the support vehicle that's behind me is also doing odometer checks.
Okay. Now, does he just putt along behind you at 3 mile an hour, or does he sit still waiting for you
That's exactly what he's doing. He's keeping the, he's got my 6.
Okay.
So
somebody won't run over you. Okay.
Monitoring his mirror, seeing if anybody's coming.
Right. And he's got the big sign on the backs, so people see it and go, oh, okay.
Yeah. We have a slow-moving sticker.
Yeah.
Like you'd see on any tractor or anything like that. It's stuck in the window up there.
Yep. Okay.
And then we have the caution, great big letters.
Mm-hmm.
The banner that says Walkers for Freedom ahead. Notice that's plural.
Yep.
That's not walker. That's walkers.
Yeah. You're single right now, but you plan on getting more and more people involved, right?
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
I want to see as many people as I possibly can see out here walking with.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, somewhere along the line, you're going to be going across Nebraska or Kansas or Missouri or somewhere along the line. I'll be out there trucking along, and if I have a chance, I'll swing by and go, hey, I'll park my truck.
I'd like to see you up on 14 there in the Colorado Rockies.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stand that place. I came back that way when I came from the East Coast back to start the walk.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you that's some beautiful country. I
Yep.
did make contact with BLM or state parks.
Mm-hmm.
I just crossed 2 miles here this morning. So 14 out of Walden, Colorado.
Yep.
All the way down to Ted's place.
Mm-hmm.
Is just absolutely beautiful country.
Yep. That goes through
about 3 days of walk time.
Doesn't that go through like Steamboat Springs and places like that?
I don't know about Steamboat Springs.
But it's northern Colorado, right?
It's northern Colorado, Rocky Mountains, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful country, Stan.
Are you gonna walk up through Estes Park?
Not familiar with that.
Estes Park is up there northwest of Denver. It's a national park.
No, I'll be north of that, I think.
Okay.
I'll come out there at Ted's place. It was just skirting the top of Fort Collins, Colorado.
Got it. Okay. All right.
And then I'll cut across 14 to Sterling.
Yep.
And then I'll cut into Nebraska. And I'll be we were going to take 83 down into Kansas. But I think my mapping crew, hats off to Richard Weber and Truckin' Girl 79.
Yep.
They've been doing a lot of work on my maps into making sure that I was on a safe road that wasn't going to be a detriment.
Right.
And so they may be shooting me across the lower part of Nebraska.
Uh-huh.
And then coming out to a point to where I can then start working my way down to 40.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be working my way down to 40.
Got it.
I come out actually in, I want to say they've got me coming out to catch 40 right there at Terre Haute.
Terre Haute? Yep. Terre Haute?
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute. Terre Haute, yeah.
Terre Haute, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'll be on 40, eastbound through Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go right down through the heart of Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
I'll continue on 40,
mm-hmm.
and I'll go through the heart of Columbus, and I'll continue on that as far as I possibly can to get through Ohio.
Yeah.
And then a couple of deviations, possibly getting down in toward D.C.
There you go. Okay.
That's the plan. So
all right.
It's all about the people.
Mm-hmm.
This problem wasn't created just by government.
Right.
It was created by people.
Right.
You know, in my time up there in the convoy, I never once deviated.
Yeah.
I've always said that the truck drivers were simply the tip of the spear.
Yep. Yep.
That the body of that spear and that the staff of that spear would be filled with people.
Right.
And without the tip, you have a blunt object, but you have a spear.
Yeah.
But without the body, you got nothing.
Yep.
You got nothing to go to battle with.
Yep.
So people are what is the answer to this problem. And so that's why I'm walking, is to get the people. Grow the movement.
All right.
Find all those people that came out on those overpasses and those bridges.
Yep.
And get them activated once again.
Yeah. Even if they only come out and walk with you a mile each morning, you start out in the morning, they walk 1 mile with you, at least they're out there with you, right?
That's correct. One of the things that we're looking at doing, Stan, is this. I want to see somebody put together a shuttle service. We have a tagline, walk for a mile or walk for a while.
Yeah.
That's the tagline on the walk.
Okay.
We want to get together and have people put together shuttle bus services. Bring people out to the walk line. And if they can't walk a whole mile, that bus just drops people off, goes up a mile, waits for them.
Yep.
You know, if people need to take a mile break, fine. That bus goes to the next mile.
Right.
And people can be shuttled back to the walk line.
Yep.
Shuttled back up to the stop line if they're done for the day. No problem. We will not be having any kind of venue services like convoys do. You know, everything is based on donations. Donation of foods. You know, hey, bring out the barbecue pits and wait for us.
Yeah.
Right? Bring out, here come the hamburgers. Here come the hot dogs. We're
There
ready.
you go.
Here,
Yep.
When we walk in, we're there.
What, I remember one of the things somebody donated, you said somebody donated 14 pairs of shoes to you or something like that?
Well, that's what the joke was. Is
Oh,
that I'm probably
okay.
going to be going through 14 pairs of shoe.
Oh, yeah.
So far, I've got 2 pair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I figured I'm going to be going through about 14 to 20 pairs of shoes.
Right.
on this
Okay.
track.
I envisioned in the back of the RV in the closet, you got 14 boxes of shoes.
Yeah, no, between breathable pants and breathable shirts and
Right.
you know, all that good stuff that's
Yeah.
been donated, and you know, and water. I'm going through Propel water. It seems to be my favorite right now because it's full of electrolytes and
Yep.
such.
Yep.
And I have a camel pack on that holds 3 16-ounce bottles of Propel water in there,
Yep.
and I suck on that.
Yep.
So that's what I go through, and then we've got the regular water. Tom's going through that,
Yep.
and on my breaks I stop and
Yep.
so on. So yeah,
Very good.
that's what I want to see. I want to see the people get out here, and if they can't get out here, we understand that. But there's more ways to work this.
Yep.
We're working on making sure volunteers up on my contact page on the walk site on graywolfwalk.com. They can drop an email in there to me. And in that email, they can even volunteer to call ahead. Call ahead and find us places to stop for the night.
Right.
Call ahead, get a hold of the county sheriff's department and the community centers and the chambers of commerce and the volunteers. And the volunteers can sit there on the phone just as well
Right.
as walk.
What, one of the things you haven't really touched on, you mentioned it, but kind of briefly, but along the way, you're going to have rallies, right?
Yes, every week.
Every week, okay. You can stop and have a
Whether I'm
rally
doing it by
somewhere?
myself, or whether I've got speakers. I hope to be able to get the doctors, the sheriffs. We've got a tentative commitment from Sheriff Ron Unger of Lander County, Nevada, to speak in Austin
Okay.
and be able to bring up things like, you know, constitutional sheriffs, which is the only law enforcement recognized by our Constitution is the sheriff.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything else is legislatively controlled.
Yeah, I know sheriffs have a lot more power than people know.
Yeah.
They
And
do.
That's the thing, that our last line of defense out here truly is the sheriffs.
Yeah.
So I'm counting on the sheriffs and to be able to stand up, and they've taken that oath the same as I have,
Yeah.
to protect that to defend the Constitution.
Yep.
They don't report to the president. They
Right.
don't report to the governors or the mayors.
Yep.
They report to their constituents.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So. All right.
That's the kind of education that people come along, walk with me, talk, find out what it is you want.
Yep.
What do you got to do? What do you have to do as an American to get involved? It's not about politics. It's about taking back our country.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a left issue. It's not a right issue. It's not a black, white,
Yeah.
yellow, pink. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care how you identify.
Yeah.
If you're an American, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We got to stand up as Americans.
Yeah. Yep. Hell, like I mentioned several times during the convoy, back, well, I don't remember what year it was, in the 60s. I don't remember seeing it as a kid. I was too young to know anything about that. But I do remember seeing, historical stuff about Nikita Khrushchev come to the UN and banging his shoe on the podium saying, "We will take over this country and we won't fire a shot." And right now, they're doing a damn good job of that. Nikita Khrushchev is grinning in his grave right now going, "Look at that. I knew we'd take it over. I knew we'd take it over."
And they're doing a damn good job of taking it over without firing a shot. We have to stand up for what our country is all about. And that's why I'm out here, folks. I'm out here to show I'm willing to put one foot in front of the other for this country. And this is the hill I'll die on. So come join me, and let's get everyone else to realize that we take our country back one step at a time. If somebody puts a plate in front of you that's got an elephant on it, you can't eat that elephant in one serving. You eat it one bite at a time.
Elephant, huh? I don't know about eating an elephant. All right, I know. Metaphor, got it. So, all right. Well, is anything else we're missing to forget about talking about?
I don't know. I'm out here. I think if I had to say right now, I've got about a 28% humidity. And I think that the temperature right now is about 74 degrees, 75 degrees.
Yeah.
So, just walking. I think I'm almost to mile 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right. Well, you only got what? 12 more to go. Well, so you're only doing 12 miles a day, so you only got 9 more miles to go for the day, right?
I only got 9 more miles to go for today, and then I take a day off and work on this blister.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, best of luck to you. Hope everything works out. Hope you hold up. Hope the old knee holds up. Hope the whole the heart and the ticker keeps going pretty good. And
you know it.
So, if anything, it's going to probably increase your health quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
get you back in shape.
I could lose 48 pounds. I didn't weigh myself before I left, but the last time I weighed, I was 247. So if I get down to 185 to 190, I'm feeling good.
There you go. So, all right. Well, you take care of you, and hope everything works out good. And I'll touch back with you every so often, and do another another one of these little interview or whatever. And
you bet.
And I would suggest you get with other people like first responder. Get him to maybe do an interview with you somewhere along the line, and WYSIWYG and all that crowd, and get their audiences to learn more and more about it. And
you bet.
So best of luck with it. All right.
All right, Stan. Thank you for calling, man.
Take care out in that heat, and we'll hopefully run into you somewhere along there. Okay.
You bet.
All right.
Talk to you later, buddy.
All right. Be good. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, folks. I've been sitting here talking to Ron and everything, and I noticed on my phone the scroll hasn't done anything. I don't know if you guys can hear. I mean, because I don't know. I hope it didn't freeze up on us. But my last comment somebody gave me was at 10:27, and it's 10:57. So the last 30 minutes, I haven't had any scroll at all. So yeah, I hope it's working on your end. I hope it's not just on my end. I hope it's just on my end and not on yours. But yeah, I'm not getting any more scroll. I haven't had any scroll for quite some time now. And and it happens. So I'm hoping it's not a problem. But the people count, the people on the stream is 348, and it's been stuck on 348 for a half hour now. So hopefully on your end everything's working good on this thing, but on my end it's kind of froze up here. I can't read any more comments because no more comments are coming through. I'm seized up. So hopefully the stream continued on your end and you